I got to get the rest of that basil. It's starting to get chilly at night. It's still hanging, but it's time to yank it in. I think we're looking at mid-40s tonight, man. I've been raving on about the stove. I did a couple episodes. We did the griddle, made another griddle last night, tuna melt. And when I bought this thing, I wanted a convection oven, for the bread. And I did my first baguettes. It's definitely a different way of baking bread for the better. But it was my first time. They were amazing, so they can only get super amazing. But the other thing, it had a big sticker on it and said air fry. Now this is a big thing I've heard about over the years, the countertops or whatever. I didn't pay it a whole lot of mind. People raved about it. But there was the sticker. So I talked to the sales guy about it a little, and we basically kind of agreed. Bit of a gimmicky kind of thing, because it's so hot and popular with the countertops now, throw it on the stove. However, I also did a little of the old goog and tested it out last night. I think it's a valid feature. I guess the convection is blowing air, right? But the air fry throws a superheated air into the chamber, okay? I can't get in there and see that this is actually taking place the way they say it is, but the food tells you, all right? So I tested it out and I was quite pleased. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna have a little air fry session, all right? Let's start at the marble because this new layout, the marble is right next to the stove. I flopped it from the right to the left. Much better prep efficiency, so I'm loving it. The board will never take second place, but let's head over to the marble. Come on, let's do it.
Come on, let's do it.
All right, but it did dawn on me, just that I was shutting the camera, we should get a preheat going. So let's go for air fry, right? Here we go, a little air fry. We got the blink. We're gonna set the temp to 425, all right? Now we'll go okay, and you'll see it's going on a preheat. And it'll let us know when it hits the 425. All right, so while that preheats, let's talk about the food. So for the inaugural run, how could we not do it? French fries. This is one of the beauties from that episode where I got whaled by the yellow jackets. It still itches. So I'm going to peel these. They've been in the basement since then, so they're not fully cured, but you can feel what starts to happen, the curing process. It toughens up the skins, and that's why you can store them. So these are like not quite cured, but on the way to curing. So I think they're going to make some great French fries. Well, I made them last night with a fresh one, an uncured, because I picked a few more out of the garden, and every now and then you poke through them with the pitchfork, so you want to use that right away. It will not store. So, as opposed to an episode way back, we did the actual McDonald's fries. These I'm just going to cut kind of rough. Not quite steak fries, because I'm going to go down the flat way here. You want to keep them roughly the same size so they cook evenly, all your sticks. But I'm just doing this. Look, some of them are nice and square like a French fry. Some of them look like a steak fry. It's all good with me. But you do want to try to be somewhat uniform and think about them cooking for the specified amount of time as consistently as possible, each stick. So I think that's pretty good. Now what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to soak them in some cold water and try to get some of that starch out. So I've got a nice bowl of cold water here. No ice cubes, just cold water. I'm going to drop in my fries and give them a little swoosh. I want to get, you can see the water getting cloudy. I'll do that like once or twice. I mean, you can go straight from the potato with these. But let's leave those for a minute. I'll change the water. And while those are doing that, let's get our little mixture going here for the air fry. We'll go with a little bit of garlic salt. A little celery salt. Just kind of improv here. You're making like a little rub. Some salt. Well, that's garlic salt and celery salt, so you want to be careful. But just a little pinch of the pink Himalaya. Black pepper. I'll go with a little bit of my Italian seasoning. And I've been loving these oregano buds. I told you those were a gift from someone. They're incredible. You just crush them up. Dried oregano buds. And they burst with flavor. Again, you don't need a lot of that. I put 2 or 3 buds. They're potent. I'm going to go with a little bit of my Cajun seasoning, because this is another thing is, this is good for using stuff up that's been around here. You'll see. We're going to make a remoulade. You'll see what I'm going to use there. All right. A little bit of the Australian mustard. Down to the wire. Couldn't think of a better way to use it up. So now, that's our only real wet, is the mustard. So we'll make almost like a paste out of this, right? Because, well, I got ahead of myself. Let's set that aside. I'm actually going to go with a little more mustard. I have some yellow here, just to make it a little wetter. All right. I jumped the gun, but this is good. We'll let all these spices marry up. Oh yeah, that's going to be nice. We'll get to that. In the meantime, back to our potatoes. All right, I laid out this towel. Let's get our potatoes on there, and we're just going to dry them off a bit. Now, I think the oven's ready. So let's give these a quick dry, like so. Just roll them up in this towel. And now, same bowl, but I wiped it out with a dry towel. So let's go with a little extra virgin olive oil. Salt. I like my potatoes nice and plain. Salt and pepper. Occasionally I'll do a little paprika or an herb, oregano or thyme. But this is the inaugural run on the air fryer of the stove. So let's keep the flavor real simple so we can see how these turn out. Just give them a little toss. Just the oil, salt, and pepper, right? Last night I only did 1 small potato, like a 1 little serving. I put it right on the toaster oven tray. They came out great. But they have these air fry cooking tray, screeny kind of things. And like I said, I'll wind up with one. But I was thinking, how can I do this tonight? I was just going to do it on, the first thing I thought of was this. I have this nice screen strainer, but it's got the rubber handles. It's drying some basil at the moment. So that was out. Then I thought, I'll just do them on one of my good old darkened sheet pans, maybe put a little parchment on it or something. But I want to try to really get that air fry thing going. So this is what I came up with. On the sheet pan, a good old fashioned grandma style colander, pasta colander. So we're going to put them in that. Put that on the sheet pan, right? And let's pop her in, 425. And we're going to set the clock for 10 minutes and then we'll check them. All right, air fry French fries in the Frigidaire. Let's see how they turn out. Meanwhile, back up to the marble.
Come on, let's do it.
I got a little ahead of myself there with the little paste. Since I'm heating up that whole cavity and testing out the air fryer, I figured let me try some shrimp. So I got my jumbo gulfs, jumbo shrimp, long live George Carlin. I cleaned them, I deveined them, I dried them. Let's get them in that little pasty kind of mixture we made. And just sort of coat them up. It's not as wet as I thought it would be. I might have to do this with my fingers. Actually, no, they're looking pretty good to getting the coating on them. Okay, now these I'll just put on a little toaster oven tray. They don't take as long, and we're actually going to drop the heat by 25. So let's set these aside. They got a nice coating on them. We've got this toaster oven tray with a piece of parchment. And we'll place them right on there. I went ahead and spread that coating on them. Put them on this parchment on a little toaster oven tray, and they'll go in the oven just like that. And we'll throw those in when that 10 is up. Now for dipping the French fries and the shrimp, sure, we could go ketchup. I actually keep homemade ketchup in the fridge. However, what we're going to do is we're going to make a little remoulade, a simple remoulade. What we're going to start with is the homemade mayonnaise. I'll never buy mayonnaise again, not with these eggs. So we'll go with some mayo. A little hot sauce, and this is a good episode because I'm using stuff up. Time to replenish the hot sauce supply. A little bit of the celery salt. Just going by the seat of my pants, just seeing what's out on the counter. A little garlic powder. Oh, actually, that's garlic powder. That wasn't garlic salt before, so we were fine. Let's go with. Oh, I have the homemade ketchup. Where did I put that? Ah, it was over there on the stove. Nothing like it. A little homemade ketchup. Mayonnaise, ketchup, and a little blast of mustard. Remoulade, that's right. On a burger, I always used to say I'm the triple condiment guy. Give me a little mayo, mustard, and ketchup for my hamburger. Not a hot dog. No ketchup touches my hot dogs. Let's mix that up. We need a tasting spoon because there's a few more things going in here. Here we go. Oh yeah. Cracked pepper. A little bit of lemon. Just a few drops. Some chopped capers. It's almost like a tartar. And this is going to use up the last of the capers. So we've got some replenishing to do around here. Just flatten those down with the knife. Get them in. A little bit of... Oh, I was pumped. I went out to let the birds out when I got home. I found a hitherto unknown parsley plant sneakily growing under the sage. It's not big, but it had some big, beautiful green leaves on it. So let's go in with some parsley. That was a volunteer bonus. All right, now let's give this a taste. Parsley, capers. We put our lemon juice in there. It's almost like a tartar / remoulade. Oh, dip those air-dried shrimp in that. Come on. All right, well, based on the inaugural run last night, my temp and my time, I wasn't crazy about the colander. It seemed like they should have been browner. So I took them out, I put them on the sheet tray, and I popped in the shrimp. All right? So I don't even need to put the timer back on. I'm going to go about 5 minutes aside on the shrimp, and then we'll check on everything. All right. Let's check what's going on in here. I think we can pull the shrimp. I did about 5 minutes aside. Potatoes are looking good. We'll give those a few more minutes. And let's check out these air-fried Gulf shrimp. They're hot as hell. Gonna let them cool for a second. And had a couple of nice bonuses. I had all that stuff on the marble. It's still Kitchen is still not completely organized, so things get a little discombobulated, but I'm getting there. I got stuff on the way for storage. However, once I started clearing stuff away, the garlic salt, this, that, and the other, I realized hiding under here when I went to pick the parsley, I pulled in a few nice fall chives. You get those beautiful spring chives. Then the woody ones come in the middle of the summer. And then now in the fall, you get some nice young new shoots that come up. And I always say the fall veggies, they can be so sweet. Let's try this. And I also added to the remoulade. So we got the chives. And then I remembered my cucumbers didn't do great this year, but I got enough. I made some raita, I had some cucumber salads with the dill. But these last 3 or 4 big fat ones at the end of the summer, I cut them with the bread and butter pickle slicer. I have one that's like an antique. I was going to pickle them, and then I remembered I had pickled the red onions. So I just sliced them and threw them in this brine. They're incredible. All right, here we go. Oh, man. I'm sold on the air fryer, you guys. Sorry. I thought it was a gimmick. Wow, it cooked perfectly. That little paste we made for the outside. Air fried Gulf shrimp. The homemade remoulade, homemade mayo. Ketchup, mustard, capers, lemon juice, parsley, pickles, chives. Great dip. And I got one left. I'm turning this baby off. I'll see you when the French fries are done.
Come on, let's do it.
All right, let's pull these taters and see how they look. Turn off the oven. Last night I made them. I did make them just a tad dark. They were amazing. But hey, it was the inaugural run. Air fried French fries in the Frigidaire. Now, we did season them. Even though they're air fried, whenever anything comes off from the fry situation while that oil on them is hot, there goes the beeper. These are a little too hot to handle right now, but let's see. Take our remoulade. We tried one just plain without the remoulade. These are French fries, yo. They're unbelievable. Ah, not just flavor, not just texture. Another great thing about food and eating and is the juxtaposition sometimes of temperature, right? These fries are hot out of the oven. The remoulade's cold. My mind's going a million miles an hour what I want to do in this oven. The shrimp were incredible. The French fries are just going down. That's all there is to it. What can I say? See you for the next episode.
Come on, let's do it.
Air fried French fries.